Join me this morning for the power of the morning routine. I like to start with my incense and my cup of tea and my morning pages. Good morning and welcome to my quiet space in the morning. This is what I call my journaling and thought download nook, and it's something that I like to do every morning to literally reset my day, get me started on the right path, and set me up for success. Now, if you haven't read The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, I highly recommend that you read it. It's a great book. It's for creatives, but it's also for people like me who never really saw themselves as being creative. In it, she talks about the morning pages and the power in just doing a complete brain dump, like getting up and free form writing. She recommends doing 3 pages. I recommend setting a timer. You can do it however you want. There's no right or wrong. A single paragraph, 3 pages, an entire chapter if you wish, 15 minutes. It's completely up to you. But the idea is to get everything out of your brain onto paper so that it releases you from the mental clutter of carrying all that around. And so I like to have a journal. This is my journal this year. I'm doing something different this year. I have it divided up into quotes that I like, business ideas. I have a whole section back here. I have it sectioned off. I write my business ideas, and then I have the section just for journaling. Now, with true morning pages, a lot of times I will use a completely different sheet of paper. Now, there's 2 thoughts around journaling and morning pages. Sometimes when we get up and journal, we're just kind of free flow writing about things. And sometimes in our morning pages, we like to do what I call the toxic dump. And that's where I just take a sheet of paper or several and I vent. I write out everything that's on my mind. Sometimes it's at myself, sometimes it's at a family member, sometimes it's at a situation that happened. It's kind of like the ugly cry. It's where you can give yourself permission to write out all the hateful, ugly things that you might be thinking. And let's face it, as much as we like to view ourselves as positive and kind and compassionate, sometimes people get under our skin and it's great for us to release that. So what I like to do is I will spend as long as it takes to write out everything that's on my mind, including swear words, things I would never say to somebody in person. And then what I do is I either rip it up into tiny pieces, run it through a shredder, or burn it. But I release it out into the universe. I get it out of the way to where not even I can go back and read it and no one can discover it. Because the idea of this is just to get it out. Again, quite often it involves saying things that we would never say to the person. And once it's out of our system and we release that toxicity of it hanging on in there, often we find that the love and the gratitude and the appreciation and, if nothing else, the respect and acceptance of other people, we can find that settle back into our minds, back into our hearts, back into our bodies. And so that's an important part of it. So I really want to invite you, again, if you haven't, get and read The Artist's Way. Ultimately it's a 12-week guide on living life intentionally and setting yourself up to inspire creativity in your life. Get a blank notebook or a fancy journal or whatever fits you and just begin to start your day with a daily thought download. And again, there's no rhyme or reason. There's no right or wrong. It doesn't need to be grammatically correct. We're not checking for spelling errors. We're just doing that daily dump out of our brains onto paper. And what you will find often is that not only does it clear space for your more creative self to come in, not only does it release all those toxins in our body and things that we're thinking, but it raises up that level of creativity and inspires us to take actions in other areas of our lives. Positive actions in other areas of our lives. Some of my best business ideas have come from my morning pages. Some of my best relationship ideas, social and fun ideas, decorating, cooking inspiration, all of that quite often comes from my morning pages. So this is actually day number 1 in what I'm calling my spring reset for March. 31 days of ideas of new things that you can incorporate into your life. Like I call it, it's habit stacking, creating new habits, moving out those old habits, and really setting yourself up for a life that you absolutely love and enjoy most of the time. Grab my guide at lowertoxiclife.com. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Give me a like, leave me a comment, and let me know how you start your mornings.